the Titans, the division is ours. I don't care what Houston did yesterday. They're going to go get their Letterman jackets again. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-6 against the Titans since Pat McAfee came up here and did his wrestling announcement. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't had back-to-back winning seasons since I was a senior in high school.
What's up, Titans fans? Welcome to another episode of Titans Fan Battle Podcast, brought to you by the Fan Battle Sports Network. With us today, we have a special guest. We'd like to introduce Titan Rossi, or you can introduce yourself. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, so you can find me a couple places. You can find me on YouTube, Titans Rossi. I mainly do stuff on our network, the Titan Upload Network. I haven't been posting a lot on my own channel. I've basically been focusing all my time on the network since we got that going a few months ago. So, yeah, find me on the Titan Upload Network. Find me on Twitter at Titans Rossi. Got a pretty decent following there. And it's a lot of fun, man. We have a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man. And like I say, always, the more Titans commentators and the more Titans media we can have, the better. The more the merrier. That's what I always say. So I also like to introduce my two co-hosts. We'll start with Flame.
Hey man, what's up, man? It's Flame Douglas, often hated, never duplicated, man. Number one Titans fan in the nation. Go ahead, Tyler.
And then we also have my man Tyler here.
Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? Nice to be back on here, man. I'm excited about this one. Get to talk about some nice subjects here. So let's get into it.
And you all know who I am. If you don't know, you don't know. All right. So first of all, I have to start off with a little shout out. You know, I like to give my little shout outs as a coach. I love it when my little dudes come up to me and do cool stuff. Little man come up to me. I was working with the line. I wasn't working with the running backs, but little man comes up to me and he says, "Coach Max, you'd be proud of me." And I said, "Oh yeah, what'd you do?" And he shows me some marks on his arm where he got like some cleats or something. And I was like, "Oh yeah, what? How'd that happen?" And he was like, "I Derrick Henry'd somebody." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" Like I knew immediately what he meant. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Yeah, Derrick Henry'd somebody." And then he talked about, you know, how he stiff armed him and, you know, threw him to the ground and just kept running like it wasn't nothing. And I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome, man. I am proud of you." But then he got me to thinking, we need to change something. You know, we need to change the whole word of stiff arming somebody to Derrick Henry and somebody. You know, when you posterize them like he did, you know, Josh Norman or what was the other one he did really bad? It was a Lions player he destroyed. But anyway, those two are the ones that stick out in my brain. Derrick Henry's somebody. I love it. But we're gonna move right on and talk about Jamarco Jones. You know, 2 fights this week. First one was with Simmons. Got into a little scrum. They got sent off the field. Simmons went to the sand pit. He went inside, I guess, out or something. And then he come back out to the sand pits for a while and then re-enjoyed in practice. Literally, the very next practice, blindside block. And for you who don't know what a blindside block is, that's when you go for someone's knees, which is an illegal hit. Anyway, it was on Chance Campbell. Aziz Al-Shair, or A-Train, did not take kindly to it. Got up in his face. There wasn't a technical fight but there was a big scrum that caused a disruption in practice, and Vrabel doesn't like that stuff. So, when I started looking into the guy, he actually got into a fight last year in training camp with Taylor Lewan. So, just not a good team character guy. And that's really all I have to say about that. I'm glad he's gone. What do you guys think? We'll start off with our guest.
Yeah, I think the guy's just a straight up idiot. I mean, to be honest, I mean, one thing that you don't want to do in practice, it's one thing to get in a scrum with the guy, to fight with a guy or something like that. That's one thing, but to throw a chit block or some type of illegal block like that where you could potentially hurt somebody, now that's a huge no, especially in the pro game. Like, that's worse than coming up to a guy after the play and just socking him in the face, because you're messing with somebody else's livelihood and potential career in a practice. So to me, like, I could see why the defense got so pissed off. I would too, like I said, that's way worse than just a scrum or talking crap to somebody and then them getting into a fight. Dude, come on, man. You can't be doing that type of stuff. Like, that's just etiquette. That's like looking out for your fellow player. So I thought, definitely boot him off the team. He can go do that somewhere else.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What do you think?
I have very strong emotions about this because my football career ended as a sophomore in high school because I had 3 concussions in 1 year. One of those concussions came in practice from a guy who blindside crackbacked me, and
there you go.
I blacked out. And I mean, I'm in high school, I made the right decision just to be a football fan at that point because I don't want to lose my mind. So, but after that, I've had a very strong feeling about this, and also guys starting fights in practice. Why? Like, I understand the heat. I understand football is a very emotional sport. You're putting your all into this. If some guy says something bad about your mom or something, you want to go out there and defend them, whatever. That's one thing. But first of all, you pick the worst guy in the NFL to pick a fight with in Jeffrey Simmons. You're not going to win that fight. Why would you do that?
Right.
And then you turn around and have an illegal hit on your teammate in practice in training camp. We are the most injury-ridden franchise in the NFL, and you're trying to hurt more people? What is wrong with you? Like Rossi said, go somewhere, go to the Raiders, go somewhere else where that's accepted, because with the Titans, Vrabel, we have a very team-first mentality, and you could not be less team-first than that.
Very well put. Flame, you got anything to add to that?
Man, I for the most part, man, I agree with both of these guys. I mean, the dude is an idiot, and it's not like this is like the first time, and this go all the way back to last season, so it's like recurring,
right.
And it's like you don't pick our best defensive player on the line to try to start a fight with, man. We just gave him a bag, so if he would have beat your butt, he would have been well justified for it. But instead of trying to avoid all that, we're just gonna go and cut you. We're gonna hopefully the Colts pick you up and you can go over there and pick on Quentin Nelson and start fights over there, but not gonna be tolerated here in Tennessee, buddy. Peace out, Jamarco Jones.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to add real quick to that is, as much as that shows me that Jamarco Jones is not a team player, it shows me that A-Train is.
Yes.
The fact that he was so quick to jump and to take it to a level where he was almost ready to throw blows with this guy, it just says a lot about Azeez Al-Shaair's character.
And the crazy thing is too, is that he had an opportunity to be our starting right tackle. He had an opportunity, which is probably the first opportunity really in his career, to come in and actually compete, and he was the front runner for that right tackle position before they brought in Hubbard and all that, So that's probably his only shot at being a legitimate starting right tackle at the start of a season, rather than just being a floater type of guy who comes in for a couple games. So, I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, it is what it is. You never know what's going through a guy's head. You never know what people are dealing with off the field, whatever. But, man, when you come to work, you got to work, dude. You know?
Well, and it's like Flame said, you know, it's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be,
Right.
you know, if this was the first time it had ever happened, or maybe even, you know, the second time, but it was last year and this is this year and it was a different guy, you know, and he's not with the team anymore. Okay, maybe it was just circumstantial or whatever, but, you know, 3 times, 2 in 1 week, no, dude. And especially trying to go after another teammate is just despicable.
And then on top of all that, you're not even that good. Like, if you're gonna be doing all this stupid
I
stuff,
know. That's what
you
I'm
gotta
saying.
be good.
Yeah.
You're not even a top tier offensive lineman, bro. So, like, what do you expect gonna happen to you? Like,
yeah, that's
wow.
Exactly what Cortland says here is that, you know, he won't get another job because, you know, it wasn't that highly graded.
I think Rossi brings up a good point too about when you go to work, you got to leave that toxic stuff at home, man, because what happens if one of us goes to work and we pick a fight? We're getting fired.
Well, we're out.
There is no second or third chance. And this is the NFL, man. This is you have the best job in the world and you go to work mad. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're out. We're fired.
While we're talking about people that left the team recently, Jacob Copeland was also let go. I think he was let go to make way for Hubbard and Murray. But, you know, hey, if you can't make it as a wide receiver on the Titans, sorry, man, you must not be showing off too much.
Yeah, even for the practice squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
The Vikings just picked him up. Maybe he does something in Minnesota. Who knows? But I'm not expecting much. I wasn't expecting much out of that whenever we signed him. So.
Yeah, I like the quickness. I'm a speed guy. When I see a speed guy, I'm like, ooh. You know, speed always gets my attention, especially at wide receiver position. I'm like, ooh, you know, he could be a good gunner if nothing else, you know. But nope. All right.
See Khalid Raymond, for example.
Yeah. He was good for a while. All right, man. All right. So new additions to the team. We picked up Chris Hubbard before we actually dropped Jamarco Jones. And then we went and got Justin Murray after we dropped Jamarco Jones. So Chris Hubbard, 32 years old. It's been 3 years since he's had a starting position, but he has a lot of experience. He played for 3 seasons for Cleveland. 17 to 19, had 15 sacks, 115 pressures. That's the part that really scares me, is 115 pressures. Now, I don't think that translated into more than 15 sacks because of Deshaun Watson and his mobility. I think if someone less mobile back there, you know, he's probably taken more sacks than that. And 14 penalties over 3 seasons. It's not great, but it's not that bad either if you look at most offensive line. That's pretty average, actually, so not that bad on that stat. But he looks to be the starter. Right now, they've got him slated as the starter, so it looks like Chris Hubbard's going to get the start at right tackle, or at least right now in the first preseason game to see what he's made of. What are y'all's thoughts on Chris Hubbard?
I think it's a decent pickup. You know, I don't know if, you know, he hasn't really played in a couple years. And the same thing with Justin Murray. I mean, Justin Murray the last time he started was 2020. He started 4 or 5 games. A year before 2019, he started like 12 games. I don't know how he did. The last couple seasons been kind of a journeyman. Same with Chris Hubbard. He hasn't really started since 2020. I know Hubbard's, I think, older than Murray, but it's kind of a wait and see. To me, it's like it kind of, the only thing that I'm nervous is about is like another Dennis Daly situation. Like, is this guy just like, I mean, he's older, has he still got his feet under him? I don't know. We'll see. But who else do you got? I mean, you got to try something out. Now, there's a guy on our network, James. He told me today that, the Titans were not done making acquisitions or looking at that position and possibly making acquisitions. So, they might bring in another guy like that, to battle. So I think right now, yeah, Hubbard's listed as the starter on the unofficial depth chart today, which came out today, which doesn't mean much. But, I think that right now he's probably the best you got until they bring somebody in to challenge him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tyler, Flame, anything y'all want to add to that?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Tyler.
I mean, if Hubbard can run block, man, I'm all for him. That's the biggest question with me, because I don't see Murray being a great run blocker, and every report I've read on him is pretty good pass blocker, horrible run blocker. So if Hubbard can do both decently, I'm going with him at starting right tackle. And really, we're talking about the backup right tackle in the grand scheme of things, because 11 games is going to be NPF. We know who the starter is, really. So we're talking about the backup. First 6 games are like warm-up games anyways for the seasons. We saw that last year when the Titans were in really good shape after 6 games, and then we're not going to talk about the rest of it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think we just doing it for depth purposes. I mean, we just not trying to get stuck how we were last year with Dennis Daly. And I'm gonna say up with him.
Right.
Like, it was too many times where we wish we had somebody. We wish we had somebody to take his place, but we just didn't. I hate to say that he was the best thing we had available, because his name and best or better shouldn't go in the same sentence, because he sucked. But I just feel like we're just trying to give ourselves choices and just provide depth, man. And I mean, I like what Rand Carthon is doing. He's not trying to put us in a bad position, but he's trying to, give us choices. And hey, let these guys duke it out for who's ever going to be the backup eventually when NPF come back. So, hey, man, I'm liking all the pickups, and even this one, even if it's just temporary. I mean, hey, last year at the end of the season, we were stuck with guys we didn't want. So let's try to prevent that going forward.
I agree. I like what Cortland says here too. The Jalen Duncan. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't honestly. I didn't have a lot of faith in him until I got to talking with Cortland about him, and he started giving me a little bit of info on him, and then I saw some pictures of him standing next to people, and I was like, "Holy crap, that dude's a monster!"
Yeah,
I didn't know he was that big. I mean, he doesn't look that big in his college pictures, but I don't know. Maybe he ate some Wheaties or something. I don't know.
Well,
but
I know. Go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to say, I would just like to
Cortland
see him.
definitely put us up on him.
Yeah, I'd like to see him give a shot at the preseason.
Yeah, I'm ready to see him. Like I was saying before the show, man, rookie linemen are normally terrible. So if we have 2 rookie linemen that can do pretty well, we're going to be highly blessed. So let's just hope that's the case.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and he's a 6th rounder too. So there's that too. Obviously a lot of teams passed on him for some reason. But there's this one too, the West V Mountains. I hope we're not in the same situation that we were last year. I hope our offense has changed more than that. But yeah, you might be right. Because that's what we look like for a while now. Okay. Let's move on. Malik Willis versus Will Levis. So Malik Willis is holding off Will Levis for now because Levis is making a pretty strong case. And to be honest, I think if Levis came out playing like this in the beginning, I think people might have a different perspective on it. You know what I mean? But I'll say this. What really encourages me is if this is his progression from rookie camp to training camp, what's his progression going to be like over the season? And I can't wait to see that and where his ceiling's at. Y'all can go ahead and take it away from there.
I like what Malik Willis has been doing so far. I mean, there seems to be a lot of positive reports coming out of camp. I mean, I know they had, he had a delay a game today and had some issues with the clock during some of their, I think it's 11 on 11s or something from what I'm read earlier. It's interesting, man, because you got two guys. You got a guy that came out of college, played in the SEC, big time games. And then you got a guy who played at Liberty. And so you kind of look at it as like, okay, the guy coming out of the SEC, maybe he only needs 1 year. Then the guy coming out of Liberty, maybe he needs 2 years, in the oven. So it's kind of like, we really don't know where they stand, I think, just from practice. But what I love about this I'm excited about this preseason, because the thing is, Ryan Tannehill is probably not going to take a snap. So we're going to get to see a heavy, heavy dose of Willis and Levis. That's what we're going to see. So I'm excited to see both of them play a lot of football this preseason. And I think it's going to show us what we need to see as far as who should be the backup.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'm super excited about this preseason. And I think me and Max were talking about this earlier, just excited to see the backups play. I mean, the last 2 seasons, we've seen them play all year. So, to see them play, hopefully we only see them in the preseason this year. But especially for the quarterback battle, the linebacker battle too. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But the quarterback battle, man, I think that Levis, it has the potential to shine in this offense. Malik Willis, not so much. I love Malik. I want him to succeed so bad for us, but we're going to have to change the offense up for him to succeed. He's not a take a snap under center Tannehill type of guy. Levis reminds me of a young Tannehill, but not with the Dolphins, like if he played for the Titans without ever having to go through the Dolphins phase. So let's hope that's what it is. That's what I'm really excited for, though, is to see how these two guys shine in the preseason.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Flame, you got anything to add to that?
So far, I have to admit I was wrong. So far, I've been wrong. I was big on, Levis just outshining Malik Willis and making him look so terrible. But it's been the opposite so far. And I'm still not a believer in Malik Willis. I do want him to succeed, but I just can't see him based on what he showed me last year. I really can't see him beating out Will Levis for the second string quarterback. But hey, if he does, he does. I mean, hey, I'm all for it. He's a Titan. But I think Will Levis will be our second string quarterback. I think in the end, in the long run, he'll be better. It's a reason why we drafted him where we drafted him, with Malik still on the roster. And like I said, it's a reason why we went and got Josh Dobbs last year with Malik roster. So, yeah.
I honestly think it comes down to a lot of the preseason play.
Yep.
I really do. I think coming into it, I think everybody had the same perception, but I have to say, as a coach and as a guy who watches stuff like footwork and, the way you hold your chest and are you squared up your shoulders, and his footwork is phenomenally better than it was last year. I mean, there was a drill I watched today or yesterday that come out on Twitter. They showed a little drill where they were throwing 2 balls at him or whatever, and he had to move around and then toss a pat. it was amazing. I was like, man, look at those feet, dude. That is like amazing footwork. And then he got set perfectly, had a nice 45 through it. Well, I mean, it was fluid. And that's the kind of stuff that we wanted to see from Malik Willis. Last year, we were hoping we were going to get, but people were just jaded in that fact that, you know, hoping that he was going to be something that he wasn't. He's just too raw of a talent. But I don't think he's going to have enough time to develop on this team because, like you said, I think Will Levis ends up taking over as the QB2 because our system is built more around like Will Levis, what he does and how he operates. And I think by the end of the preseason, he'll probably outperform Willis just because of this system. But I think we keep Willis because of the third quarterback rule.
Y'all know what the best part about this is, though? We don't have to worry about Logan Woodside.
Oh, yeah.
That is my favorite part of this discussion, is we're not talking about Woodside.
What's up? What's up, Flame?
No, I was saying facts. Facts to what's
all. Oh, facts.
Those are different facts. Yeah.
My bad. I thought you said facts. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to touch on that real quick again too. Like, you know, I mean, obviously we know that Will Levis is not going to be on the practice squad. So, that's not happening no matter what. And, you know, they're not going to put Willis on the practice squad. So they're either going to keep 3 or drop Willis. Or do something with him, or trade him.
I was gonna say he'll never make it through waivers. So I mean, yeah, we would have to trade him.
That's what I'm saying. So like either or, they're either keeping 3 or they're either getting rid of Willis. You know, so I think it'd be. I don't know. I guess it all depends on the preseason, right? What we see, what it looks like. I feel like you got to give Willis one more year. That's just how I feel. If you can get away with keeping 3 quarterbacks throughout the whole year on the active roster, I think you do it, and I think you give Willis another year to see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that train of thought at all. See here, Frankie, I love you, dude. But this is exactly what I'm talking about, man. They don't allow you to film 7-on-7s and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we only get the 2-on-2s and the 1-on-1s and stuff like that. So I personally haven't seen his progressions, so I can't speak to that. But the people who have say that that's not the case. He is reading through his progressions well. That's part of the reason that there's so much excitement around him, and that's part of the reason why he's still called the number 2 quarterback. That's why he's going to start this Saturday, because technically he is the number 2 quarterback at this moment. If the season was starting right now, he would be backing up Ryan Tannehill because he's put the work in. He's put the progression in. He knows the system better. No offense to Levis. It's just the way it is. Now, later on in the season, that might change or whatever. I don't know. But point is, Malik has come a long way. And that's really all I have to say about that. I'm sorry. Anybody else want to add anything to that?
Hey, best case scenario, man, both of them shine in the preseason. And then, you know, we have 2 formidable backups in the NFL, which is hardly ever the case. So let's just hope that's what it is.
Yeah, I would love to have a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, a good problem to have. That's what I mean. Darn it. Anyway, Ryan Tannehill and DeAndre Hopkins are making a connection. Lots of them. Early and often. Every day in camp. You hear it. I don't know if you guys keep up with it like I do. I'm sure you do. But it's first 3 passes went to Hopkins. Or first, 3 out of 5 passes went to Hopkins. And they're all caught. Or one was not caught. Or you know what I mean? They are building chemistry right now. And I absolutely love that. I hope it continues. And I hope it gets better. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Y'all want to add anything?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's great. I mean, you are seeing a lot of stuff like that. yeah, I mean, every practice, it seems like today, 7-on-7, 9 hours ago, A to Z, Tannehill goes 2 for 3 with touchdowns to Hopkins and Phillips. Complete to Hopkins on 11-on-11. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting a lot of work with Tannehill, and this is exciting, man. This is exciting because I feel like when Julio Jones was here, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you guys remember this, but I don't remember as much of this type of thing with Julio and Tanny. Like, I don't remember like the reports from training camp coming out where they were like really working together a lot. And I don't even think Julio was there that much, to be honest. So, I guess the positive thing though out of all this is D Hop has been practicing, and he's been there damn near every day, or darn near every day. Sorry guys, he's been there darn near every day. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked about that. I mean, I think he's only missed like 2 days, and that was something that they talked about before he even signed
In the
a
very
contract.
beginning.
So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's great. I'm super happy that he's learning the system and, like I said, building that chemistry.
On that point about Julio, the thing I remember the most is seeing him working with the receivers. I don't really remember seeing reports of Tannehill and Julio going to the practice field after practice to work on routes, and
Yeah.
seeing them talking to each other about where I'm going to go at this point. And I see that a lot with D Hop already. So, but I also think that Julio knew he was on the decline of his career, and D Hop believes he's got a lot of football left in him. So I think that's where the two are different, because Julio was kind of in coach mode when he got to the Titans. He was almost like an extended player coach. And D Hop is just ready to ball, man. He's ready to prove people wrong, and you see it all over Twitter. He's getting mad at the people who are doubting it. And I'm like, welcome to Tennessee, dog. We do this every year. But I think that's the biggest difference between D Hop and Julio. And we didn't give up a second round pick for D Hop.
Yeah.
So
and we're not going to pay 4 years into the future.
Yeah.
I'm definitely feel like D Hopkins got a chip on his shoulder, and I'm loving that because I feel like he got a point to prove. I kind of feel like Julio was trying to ride the wave to a ring. We were kind of loaded that year. We already had a hell of a team. So I feel like Julio was down for the ride. Hopkins is like, nah, I'm going to help the ride. I'm going to provide. I want to be a 1,000-yard receiver. If I did, if he did it with Kyler Murray, he's going to show what he can do with Ryan Tannehill. He's already played in the AFC South. He know how it's going to go. I'm loving everything I'm hearing coming out of camp from Hopkins, because he's showing that at his age, he can still be a productive receiver. He's showing that with a quarterback with an arm like Tannehill, he can still be a productive receiver. So I'm loving everything I'm hearing coming out of that offense, especially with Tanny, with Derek, with Hopkins. Like, we're going to be a problem, man, and I'm loving it.
Traylon, Chris Moore, Chig.
Yeah, it's gonna
loaded,
be sick, man.
Loaded.
All right, real quick. I wasn't expecting to do this, so this is kind of off the top of my head. So, people, who are you excited to see in the preseason?
Ooh.
I'm excited. Obviously, we've already talked about a few people we're excited about, but I'm excited about Peavy on defensive line. I want to see what he does, and I'm super excited to see Kyle Phillips.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, everybody knows. Yeah, I know. Flame probably going to shake his head at me, but I want to see what Colton Dow looks like on the field. But who are you guys excited to see?
I think there's quite a few people. I mean, I'm excited to see inside linebackers and see if right now Dr. Jack Gibbons is pretty my favorite. Right now Gibbons is ahead of of Rice. And that could obviously, I think it's kind of, they're kind of even at this point, Rice and Gibbons. But so I'm interested to see that. And I'm interested to see the wide receiver battle. I mean, there's, the names other than D-Hop, NWI, all those 4 or 5 core guys, Chris Moore's been pretty good. I mean, he's been making some plays. So I'm interested to see those other guys, the Colton Dowells, the Mason Kinseys, the Phillips is a lock. We know that. But I am excited to see Phillips. But kind of those last 2 spots, Roberson, Kinsey, Dowell, all those other guys, Jackson, Kyrus Jackson, Trayshawn Harrison, who showed out in camp. Racy, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Racy. But I'm excited to see, because we're going to get a heavy dose of all those guys this preseason. So it'll be interesting to see, I'm excited for Rashad Weaver. I'm excited for Peavy. And it'll be interesting to see the tackle position too, those guys rotating in and out.
Agreed. Yeah. You brought up a heck of a point there. I forgot about the linebacker fight. I'm really excited about that. I tried to give Monty Rice more credit than he deserves, I guess, because I'm a Bulldogs fan. I'm sorry, everybody out there who doesn't know that about me.
I thought Rice would be really good. I mean, and he might still be. I'm surprised that Gibbons is kind of out. I don't know if he's outplaying him, but they're talking a lot about Gibbons. I don't know.
I think. Well, I actually wrote about this yesterday, so I'm more excited about this inside linebacker 2 spot than any other battle on the team. I'm a big Monty Rice fan. He's from Huntsville. He's from an hour away from me. I know a lot of his family, so I'm a big Monty Rice fan. I want him to succeed so bad. With that being said, Jack Gibbons seems like he's going to be a monster and a huge find out of nowhere, by the way, undrafted free agent last year. But the thing about Monty is, if he was 6'3", I think we're talking about a top 10 linebacker in the NFL. He's undersized,
right.
So his pass defense is what makes him not as eligible as a starting linebacker. I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to rotate these guys. Al-Shaair is going to be the starter. He's going to be on the field constantly every down. But first and second down, I think you're going to see a lot more Monty. And then third down pass situations, you're going to see a lot more Gibby, because he can play the pass much better. He's got a larger frame, longer arms, and he's just a better he's just in general a better pass defender.
Yeah, I agree. And that's I think is the key. You just nailed the key right there. Because for me, and I touched on this earlier in the offseason, but for me, if you have a linebacker who is specifically like Monty Rice, who's specifically just a fast, hard-hitting, sideline to sideline guy, mainly stops the run, not that good at pass protection. And then you have Azeez Al-Shaair, who is just a bigger, better version of Monty Rice. I mean, he also has some pass pro skills, but I mean, for the most part, he's just going to hit you really hard and jar the ball loose. So my point is I wouldn't rather see 2 of those guys out there. I'd like to see a guy that can defend the pass and a guy that can defend the run at the same time. You know what I mean? On my inside linebackers, I just like that package better. Yeah. But that's the reason that I say that, and I want to give Monty Rice the go ahead because I love Georgia. It's just like Mason Kinsley. I'm going to be rooting for him too. But it's his 3rd year, and if I'm going to say Racy McMath needs to, either put up or shut up, then I got to say the same about Monty Rice. Monty Rice obviously is a much better player than Racy McMath, but still, I got to say the same. So. Yeah.
The thing that scares me the most about Jack Gibbons is I just don't want to see a 6'3" Will Compton being our starting middle linebacker. No hate, no shade towards the boy. Love Willie. No hate at all. Just saying. Like, he's a team guy, team first guy, great locker room guy. But I'm just hoping that he's more athletic and can play the run and the pass a little bit better than that. That's what scares me the most about Gibby, though. And I'm hoping that he proves me wrong and he's a monster. I hope him and Monty both are monsters and we can change them out at any time. And we just have all kinds of depth and everything is great.
Yeah, I know. I hope I ain't speaking out of turn, but I got so many players I'm excited to see play. I gotta say, number one, Kyle Phillips. I mean, I just think that guy's gonna be so good. Number two, I gotta go Tajay Spears.
Yes.
I really think that guy is gonna be. He's gonna be nice on offense. He's gonna be a good complement to Derrick Henry. And number three, Sean Murphy Bunting. I feel like he's going to fit that defense so perfectly. He's going to be that cornerback that we finally can depend on. He's not going to be the cornerback that these quarterbacks can just throw the ball up and it's either going to get caught by the receiver or it's going to get a pass interference. Like I feel like we finally got a corner that's going to get his head turned around and is going to make a play on the ball. And, man, I could go on for days about players I'm excited. I'm also excited about seeing Harold Landry back. I'm excited about seeing Colton Dow. I want to see if he's going to live up to all this hype, Max, done told me about him. So, I mean, I'm excited about so much. But, yeah, I got to say, Cal Phillips, Tajay Spears, Sean Murphy Bunting. Hey, man, a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, and by the way, when I said Cal Phillips, I was excited to see him. I meant as a punt returner.
Okay.
I want to see him return a punt, like secure it, and then I
hope they don't put him at punt return.
I'm actually hoping they put Tajay Spears back there. They say he's so dynamic, let's throw him back there.
Yeah, it might be something good to try out.
I was gonna say right now he's not even practicing it.
He's listed third on the depth chart for punt return and kickoff return right now.
I was gonna say now kickoff return he has.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Rossi.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was just gonna say they had a list out today of guys who were practicing on returns. I was trying to Phillips, Kinsey, Jackson, Gavin Holmes, and cornerback Eric Garrar.
Exactly.
I don't know if that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't see Spears practicing the punt return. However, I have seen him on the list of practice kick returners. So I could see him being utilized as a kick returner. But honestly, I think the Titans think he is going to be such a playmaker and such a dynamic force on the offense. I don't think they want to wear him out on kick returns.
Yeah,
just my personal thoughts on that. So now we're going to move into our fan segment. Basically, I throw up every week on Twitter and Facebook. I throw up a little thing that says, ask a question, make a comment, whatever you want to do. I pick the best one, and then I roll with it. So this week, our comment comes from Christine McCord. And she said, seems like every year the Titans have been overlooked or disrespected. Yeah, welcome to the Titans. My question to y'all is, did you see the top 100 NFL players of 2023? Derrick Henry was at number 25 and Simmons was at number 58. I believe they were way too low. How about y'all? Also, Byard didn't even make the list. Love the show, fellas. Thank you for the shout out, Christine. We love the view. Just to touch on this a little bit. A, yes, they are way underrated. And B, welcome to the Titans, man. We don't get national media attention ever. We're just hated by the media for some reason. I don't know why. They hated the fact that we got DeAndre Hopkins, which I think is just stupid and kind of funny, but whatever. What's your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, I'm sure, Rossi, you've been doing this for a while. You know about the hate.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that 100 list. It's voted. It's voted on by players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? It could just be a popularity contest. Obviously, Kevin Byard not being in the top 100 is an absolute travesty. I mean, out of all, even if you're not a Titans fan, out of all the, I mean, he's a top 3 safety in the league. Come on, man. I mean, what other safeties did they have in the top 100 is what I want to know. Yeah, I mean, Simmons being at 58, are you kidding me? I mean, he's could arguably step into being the best defensive tackle in the league this year. I mean, he could take the crown from Aaron Donald this year. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
you list your top 3 defensive linemen. You get Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, and it should be Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Simmons should be at least, I'd say top 30, top 35. And then Henry, 24. With the way running backs are going, I could see why he's at 24. I think he should probably be at least top 20. He should at least be given that respect, considering what he did last season. I don't know if they touched on that at all, and I'd have to go watch it, in the little videos they do. But did they touch on that we literally had the worst offensive line in football, and he still put up not to mention he put up 1,500 and something yards, not to mention a career best for him in receiving yards as well.
And led the team.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's nuts. It's crazy. So I think it's stupid.
When it comes to respect from the Titans, man, it's like if you don't have like a record-breaking season, they don't show us much
Nobody
respect.
knows.
I mean, we should be used to that at this point, but like sometimes it's blasphemous, like the respect they give us. Like, come on, man, Jeffrey Simmons is not a top 30 player. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I've kind of gotten used to not getting respect as a Titans fan. But like I'm saying,
Yeah.
I hate that for our players because, like I said, Jeffrey Simmons went out there last year, played his heart out, injured. He was injured for most of the season.
Yes.
He didn't cry. He came out there and still was a force on the defensive line. And we know what Henry went through. We had the worst, if not the worst, definitely one of the worst offensive lines last year. And he still ran the ball. He still got over 1,000 yards. He was still running left, and we knew who was left, Dennis Daly. So, man, I just don't know. I really, at this point, you got to kind of not pay attention to the ratings. We're never going to get our respect. So I just feel like just don't put too much feelings into it, man. We just got to keep kicking butt like we've been doing. We know where our players stand. And I really hate that the mayor of Murfreesboro keeps getting robbed on these ratings, on these safety ratings. Man, like, come on. That guy has been nothing but consistent. And the years he does have a down season is because of who we got playing corner. Like, he can't do everything. Like, it's so many times what Kevin Byard is having to come up and help out on these corners because they're getting beat. So he's not able to just sit back there and play center field. But, I mean, they don't look at stuff like that. All they look at numbers and this and that, and then he played for the Titans. So, yeah. I mean, we never get the respect we want, but it's all right. They're going to respect it.
I agree, man, and I think the respect's going to come. That's one part. The only part that you said, Flame, that I disagree with is that we won't ever get it. It's going to come. It's going to come after we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Once we win the Super Bowl, then there's going to be people who are, I've been a Titans fan since I was yada yada yada. No, you weren't. Like, I've known you your whole life. I've been the only Titans fan I know for 20 years. Like, you're not going to do that. But I think the biggest thing is, man, we don't have – our fan base isn't one of the strongest in the NFL. We all know this. Mm-hmm. We also moved to Tennessee, 23, 24 years ago, something like that, maybe 25. I'm 27 now. I've been a Titans fan since I was 3. So I consider myself as part of the first generation of Tennessee Titan lifers. So I've been a Titans fan my whole life. And I'm just now to the point where maybe I could get season tickets, because when you're in your early 20s, you can't afford season tickets, man. Like you can't do that. You can't buy all the merchandise you want to. And guys who work for NFL Network and ESPN, they're not growing up Titans fans, or weren't. So when we get guys in there who are growing up Titans fans, we're going to get a lot more respect from the national media. And whenever we get people, our fan base starts growing, then it's going to become cool to be a Titans fan. And then when it's cool, that's when the media is like, that's who they cover the most. The guys who it's cool to cover, the Cowboys, Packers, the Bills, the guys with the stars. We have a star running back. We don't have a star, or I think we have a decent quarterback myself. I like Tannehill, but the media does not. So
it's shown on here that Kevin made number 100.
Really?
Is that right?
I think it was like 105.
No, it was an honorable mention is what they said. He was an honorable mention along with they mentioned off, I think, 10 players, and they listed where he ranked or whatever. And I think he ranked like 105 or 108 or something like that. But he was
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was the first running back, was the highest ranked running back, so that's good. But 5 safeties were on the board before we're on the top 100. And I was curious to see how many defensive tackles were ahead of Simmons. What was Simmons? 50 something?
54?
58, I believe. Yeah, 58.
Yeah. Maybe I'm looking at somebody else's 100. This is CBS. I don't know. They have a 42 on CBS, but I don't know. Maybe it says NFL top 100, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. Anyways, yeah, I mean it's still a slap in the face, and yeah, I think Tyler. You make a good point. I think the Titans need to win a Super Bowl. After when we went to the Super Bowl, 21 years ago, 22 years ago. What was that, 2000?
Yeah.
2000. Yeah.
Or 2001. I think after that, we were so new. We were kind of just considered like we were new, but we were old. We were the Oilers, but then Tennessee. I don't think people really. We had a few awesome years like after that. You know what I mean? Where people were talking about us. I mean, we had McNair, we had Eddie George, we had Frank Wycheck, all those guys. We had the awesome defense. So we were talked about a little bit, but then we just nosedived. And so I think if we could win a Super Bowl, which I don't know, I mean, it makes me think, man, if this team could put it all together, I think it all boils down to the offensive line. I really don't see any other position group really being that bad on this team. I mean, you got some issues at depth, obviously, at like linebacker, a couple other positions, but I think pretty much other than the offensive line, we're pretty set for the most part, I think, man, if this offensive line can get it together, I really think we could have a hell of a team this year. I really do, man.
Besides the offensive line, only thing that kind of worries me is the secondary, and that's just the corners.
Yeah.
And the safety play. That's the only thing that worries me, though. I'm talking about just not a lot of times where you kind of confident at every position.
But you got that defensive line that can make up for.
You're right.
You don't have to have, if they can live up to what they could really do, but you still got to have guys like there were times last year we were getting burnt, and hopefully Bunting can come in and be a starter. He's never been a starter, not an every down starter. So, I mean, hopefully he's good, man, and he can not get burnt every freaking play.
Yeah, hopefully he's good.
And they got a new coach.
Yeah,
hopefully he's good. We need. I just had a brain fart. We need
Roger McCreary.
Yeah, McCreary. We need McCreary to still play solid.
We need Fulton to stay healthy, do his thing, and we need a miracle that Caleb Farley just gonna come out of nowhere and be what we drafted him to be.
I would not hold my breath on that one, bro. I do want to ask y'all a question, though. I do have a question. Would y'all give up? Let me ask this. What's the highest draft pick you would give up this year for an offensive lineman who is an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber offensive lineman?
I say with the need, the immediate need that we have right now, which I don't know if NPF wouldn't have got suspended, would we really need one? You know what I'm saying? Like we
all
just
pro lineman. I can answer that real quick. Number 1 overall.
I mean, we just drafted one in the first round. We just signed like 2 in free agency, 3 in free agency.
Flame.
I wouldn't go too high. I would say 3rd, 4th round, maybe 4th round. Huh?
Flame. Do you not remember the days of Michael Ruse?
Yeah.
And or even Michael Ruse and David Stewart.
Yeah, big country.
I mean, I mean those 2 tackles. I mean, it made a difference having those 2 bookends there. You know what I'm saying? Or when we had even earlier or more recent, I was going to say,
John made a difference.
Conklin. Yeah. I mean, when you brought Conklin in, it was a completely different line.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
That was the worst move ever.
So you saying you'll give away your first round pick, though?
Dude, I would give away the number 1 overall draft pick.
For an under 27 all-pro left tackle, I would give a first-round pick and possibly a second. If we could lock him in for 5 years, yes, absolutely. Because you're talking about, I mean, you're solidifying an offensive line right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, as long as we stay healthy.
Yeah. That's the key right there to the whole season.
Well, gentlemen, it has been a great show. I appreciate all of you. We're going to go around the room and tell everybody where you can find us. And we'll start with our guest host, guest host, Titan Rossi.
Yeah, so find me on YouTube at the Titan Upload Network. We got 7 content Titans content creators. We all post on one network at the Titan Upload Network. So y'all check us out on there. We've been rocking and rolling. And check me out on Twitter at Titans Rossi. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back. And we got content. We got live shows Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays. We got one that's going to be starting Fridays. And then we release videos all throughout the week too. So y'all check us out there.
Awesome. You want to let them know where to find you at, Tyler?
Yeah. On Twitter at Titan_always22. It's the Ryan Stonehouse Stan account, baby. Show love to the specialist over here. Used to be the Brett Kern Stan account. Y'all follow me. I'm putting up content as much as I possibly can. FanBattleSportsNetwork.com. Find me on the Titans blog. I'm starting to blog more. I'm getting up there. I'm trying to do that more. Find me, interact with me. Let's talk about Titans football and get excited.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Flame.
Yes, sir. You can find me on Facebook, Flame Douglas. You can find me on Twitter, Flame_615. I'm starting to get just a little teeny bit more active on Twitter, and with the season coming up, it's going to be a lot more to talk about. So I'm going to be putting my how I feel about everything out there. So just, hey, come follow me, and you can always catch us right here on the Titans Fan Battle Podcast, baby.
Everybody pretty much, I mean, you should know where to follow me at. It's right there on your screen, Maximus_Titan_fan, pretty much everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We also do Titans Fan Battle Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So come check us out. The best place to watch us, though, is YouTube. Please come check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a little thumbs up on the video. That helps us out a lot. We really appreciate it. If you guys don't check out the Titans Upload Network, check them out. They got some really great content over there. More than, like he said, more than one guy over there. They're a lot of different tastes, a lot of different flavors, which I think is amazing that they have a whole network full of Titans people. That's just fantastic, and I love it. So, like I say, the more the merrier. I'm always trying to help promote and cross promote. So, love you guys, and peace out.
Good night, man.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.